I left England when I was in my early 20s, and I went to Venezuela, and long story short, I became a university lecturer. And then around about 10 years in, I started getting really sort of fed up with the whole being in an institution. I wanted a freer life. So I left the university, and which meant a massive cut in pay, and I went with my partner to live in the mountains, a place called in Venezuela called Caribe, and we started getting into very much the sort of the organic growing and sort of ecology, the soil, getting on. And I was in England, and I tried to look for a job. I tried diligently to look for a job for 2 years. Nobody would give me a job, at least not a job that I felt would be satisfying to me. So I decided, well, if nobody's going to give me a job, I will just start volunteering and see where that takes me. And making that decision, although it felt quite strange at the time, has opened a huge set of opportunities. So now I live in Spain. I continue to be a volunteer, but I have since gained a diploma in applied permaculture, and now I've started to teach permaculture. But my basic needs are met by volunteering rather than money. Is a growing movement, and it started in the 1970s. And basically, it was a joining of two words, permanent and agriculture. And the idea was to create more sustainable agricultural systems as a kind of alternative to agro-industry. But now permaculture has kind of broadened out and really encompasses all walks of life, and natural building to education to business, economic models.
So it's International Women's Day, Fran. So could you give us a couple of examples of qualities in yourself and in other women who are important to you?
Qualities that I admire in other people. I remember particularly reading a book a long time ago by a lady called Anne Musto, who took up cycling at the grand old age of 55, and she said in the introduction that she was in a bus and she was watching this lone person cycling across the Gobi Desert, and she said that just the idea of that freedom was so powerful for her that she decided that she wanted to do the same. Now she didn't even know how to mend a puncture. She'd never cycled in her life. And she went off on a 15-month cycle around the world, and that started a whole new life for her as a cyclist. And so I think that that ability to just kind of, I suppose, trust in the universe and just go for it, and not worry too much about the limitations or potential limitations of why you can't do it, but think about the possibility of why you could do it. So that's always been a very big inspiration for me.